Now I was asked a real legitimate question about squash bugs, about wanting to replant. Now they do travel, and butternut squash runs and roots. The squash bugs have tried to do their best, still getting butternut squash. Can you plant in the same area that you had an infestation? Well, we had a lot of squash in here. They produced very well. We lost some to vine borers. We lost some to the heat. We've got a couple that have been around since we planted. They're showing a little stress, but I'm not taking them up because the ground needs covered. So is it okay to plant where you've had an infestation? Well, they didn't eat everything, so I'm going to plant a couple different things. And yeah, unless you've got a mile to go or a couple miles to go, they're still going to be around. Now, neem oil works on these pests, but it's a contact, and you have to have the cold pressed. And these black blister beetles come in a group, and they move pretty fast, and they eat a lot very quickly. But it has to be a contact spray, and we put Dawn dishwashing soap in there, which also works really well as a contact. And as they run away, you've got to do the bug dance. In the deep mulch, you got to twist. You can't get away from the bugs that are in your garden. Even if you're spraying hard chemicals, you still can't get away from all the bugs. Now, if you're doing like we're doing, we're using cold pressed neem oil. It's a very good contact spray. Dawn dishwashing soap is a good contact spray. Picking them off, doing the bug dance. I think I'm going to get a mini shop vac and see how that works. I understand it works pretty good. But there's always going to be pests in the garden. And the ground's always going to want to stay covered. So my answer is, yes, let's go ahead and plant. As soon as we get a few things in the ground, we'll go take a look at a couple of our succession plants. You tell me, should you go ahead and keep planting where you've got bugs or where you've had bugs? I think the answer is you have to. So come on, let's plant. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to clear back a little bit of this mulch down to bare soil like we do. And I'm going to plant some beets, I'm going to plant some lettuce, and I'm going to plant some more squash. I think over in this end, we're going to go ahead and put a couple squash. We have put in a couple rounds of green zucchini, so I'm going to plant a couple more yellow zucchini. Now these are summer squash. They come up very fast and they grow very fast. I'm going to get a little crazy here because that's what I like to do with beets. And I'm going to scatter beets over most of this area. Has anybody ever said you can't have enough beets? Here's the thing, we've got grasshoppers right now, and we've got slugs even though we're working on them. And everything out here likes to eat what we like to eat. And by planting this heavy, I'm going to be able to share a little bit. And I'm going to be able to get a little bit. And then up over on this end, we're going to plant some lettuce. And I'll be a little more deliberate here. And we're going to plant some gourmet blend. So that'll be a variety of different lettuces. And I am still going to plant this heavy. We were really successful this year coming through and pulling some and putting them in containers. So as these come up, we will thin this out. Backfill a little bit. Now the beets I'm doing like Ruth Stout. I just put on top. And I'm just going to pat those in. We're just going to put a light little bit of mulch on this side. The lettuce we actually covered up. It doesn't like to push up through, but the beets push up through just fine. And so will the squash. And we've had so much rain lately, we ought to be in pretty good shape. And there you go. We've planted in the middle of the garden where we've had bugs. We'll see what we get. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we've already planted. And right back here are the radishes I planted just a couple days ago. If you've never grown anything, try radishes. They come up very quickly. They're one of the easiest things to grow. And also right up here by the greenhouse, we've got round 3 of our zucchini. And right over here, we've got round 4 of our yellow squash. All of these are affected by those stink bugs, but it's not scaring me away. If you don't sow, you can't grow. And of course right here is round 2 of our squash and zucchini. That amaranth did come crashing right down through the middle of it. Even this late in the season, we do still have squash bugs, but these are original squash plants from this year, and they're still producing squash. So what do you do when you come out in the garden and you see a bug? Well, you got to stomp it. It's that easy. Now remember, you can do this too. There you go. Until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.